Today, we're diving into the mind of a true literary revolutionary, one of the 20th century's most important voices, Virginia Woolf.
She wasn't just a writer, she was a pioneer who completely shattered the idea of a traditional novel. Instead of just focusing on plot, she plunged deep into the inner worlds of her characters, using that groundbreaking stream of consciousness technique to capture the chaotic, beautiful mess of human thought as it happens.
But here's the thing. This incredible creativity, it didn't come from a place of peace. It was actually forged in a life of profound personal tragedy and a relentless, lifelong struggle with mental illness. From a very young age, a series of devastating losses triggered severe breakdowns, a battle she would fight for the rest of her life.
So in this explainer, we're going to explore just that. How did she manage to transform that immense personal darkness into transcendent art that, still speaks to us so powerfully today?
All right, so let's go back to the beginning, to a childhood world that was full of intellectual privilege, but was ultimately shattered by loss.
You have to picture it, these idyllic summers by the sea, just filled with the sounds of family and creativity. This place became a powerful source of inspiration for her, especially for novels like To the Lighthouse. It was a time of pure happiness, really a beacon of light against the darkness that was about to come.
But that happiness, it was completely shattered by an absolutely brutal period of relentless loss. It started with her mother's death when Virginia was just 13, which triggered her first mental breakdown. Then, not long after, she lost her half-sister, then her father, and then her beloved brother Thoby. Can you just imagine the weight of that grief, a whole decade of constant mourning?
Now, while her brothers got to go to university, a path completely denied to her as a woman, Virginia was given a different kind of key to the world: unrestricted access to her father's massive library. This library, this became her university, her sanctuary, and the training ground where she would forge the tools for her literary revolution.
After her father's death, Virginia and her siblings did something that was, for the time, completely radical, a move that would change not only her life, but the entire course of English literature.
This wasn't just a change of address. It was a total declaration of independence. They escaped the formal, stuffy Victorian world they grew up in for a life of intellectual and personal freedom. And their new home? It became the epicenter of a whole new creative universe.
It was here, with her siblings and their brilliant, eccentric friends from Cambridge, that they formed the legendary Bloomsbury Group. These guys were rebels, thinkers, and artists who questioned everything: art, society, relationships, life itself. You had key figures like the witty writer Lytton Strachey and the sharp political theorist Leonard Woolf. In their world, nothing was sacred and no idea was off limits. They valued intellectual honesty, raw creativity, and progressive living above everything else.
Their marriage was a true partnership. Leonard recognized both her genius and her fragility. He created a space of stability and just unwavering support that allowed Virginia to pursue her really revolutionary literary ambitions.
And with this new foundation of support, that's when Virginia's most groundbreaking work really began to emerge.
And this is where she truly changed the game. She wasn't just telling stories, she was inventing new ways to show us what it feels like to be human. This was a core idea of modernism, this belief that our inner, subjective reality was more real than any external plot. So she basically threw out traditional storylines to dive deep into her characters' minds, capturing that messy, fragmented, and beautiful flow of thoughts we all experience.
In the years between the wars, she was just unstoppable, producing this stunning series of works that cemented her legacy. Novels like Mrs Dalloway and To the Lighthouse became cornerstones of modernism, while her powerful essays like A Room of One's Own really laid the groundwork for modern feminist thought.
And her work, especially A Room of One's Own, was so deeply personal. She was drawing directly from her own experience of being denied opportunities. This quote, it just perfectly captures her frustration with a society that flat out refused to take a woman's artistic ambitions seriously. But her final years were overshadowed by the looming threat of World War II and, tragically, the return of her severe depression.
Their quiet country home, Monk's House, became her sanctuary. After their London home was destroyed in the Blitz, it was their only refuge, a fragile shield against the chaos of the war outside and the growing turmoil within her own mind.
At the age of 59, fearing another mental breakdown, one that she felt she would not recover from, Virginia Woolf walked into the River Ouse near her home and took her own life. The suicide note she left for Leonard is absolutely heartbreaking, but it's also this incredibly beautiful tribute to the happiness they shared. It perfectly captures the tragic paradox of her life, this capacity for immense joy and love existing right alongside the devastating power of her illness.
So how does a writer turn a life of struggle into timeless art? Virginia Woolf's life gives us a powerful answer. She didn't just write despite her suffering, she wrote from it, transforming her own pain into a universal exploration of the human mind. Her voice endures as a testament not just to her genius, but to her incredible courage.